All right, boys and girls. Well, we have Cobb Vanth Conquest coming out a little bit later today. And honestly, I normally am much quicker about getting these guides out there to the community and the infographics. But with this upcoming conquest, I took a look at the feats and quite frankly, things don't look too crazy at all. Now, that's beyond the era stuff. There is a lot of you need to have this character, you have to let this character survive, but there really aren't too many ridiculous tricks to that. And we will talk about the survival feats separately. But let's take a look at Cobb Vanth. Let's take a look at the conquest feats and let's make sure that I can get you to a red crate. So, Cobb Vanth was added to the game on April 1st, April Fool's Day, and a lot of people thought that he was a joke, including myself. I honestly did not believe, probably until just a few days ago, that he was fully a serious character coming. And that is not to say that I don't love Cobb Vanth in the Mandalorian series, but it is to say that he is just very strange in relation to how he acts with his new constable tag. The fact that the only other three constables in the game right now and who are outlined in his kit reveal as being part of the use cases, right? Normally, CG will say, "Hey, we have some new stuff coming up, and that'll be his team." But here it is for now. But what we have right now are Lobot, Cara Dune, and Cup. Outside of that, there is Jawas and Tuskens and deputizing, and I don't even know, and I'm not going to go too crazy over his kit because that's not why you are here, right? We are here to talk about the actual feats and how to get things done. So, with that said, let's get into the important stuff. Let's talk about it. We've got Conquest. One quick note before we do this. I Unless a survival feat could utilize some sort of extra thing. So if doing a survival feat in a certain way also added to other feats that you're doing, we've left them off of the infographics. I've actually added a brand new infographic specifically for those survival feats because that doesn't change sector to sector. But with that said, our global feats: defeat 250 enemies on the challenge path, gain foresight 200 times, win 20 battles with Asajj Ventress Dark Disciple, attempt to inflict tenacity down 70 times, win 20 battles with full pirates, call 60 assists with booming voice is locked up with that, and attempt to inflict purge 300 times, which is not that terribly hard. I just noticed that Moonborn wrote her name as Asajj Ventress, so we know what type of porn he looks at. Our sector feats for Sector 1: take 50 bonus turns, attempt to inflict buff disruption 30 times, win 10 battles with Silvo and Vane surviving, and win 10 battles with Cup surviving. So it is a very survival heavy sector. Generally, if there are two survival feats in Sector 1, I will typically ignore one of them. So it's very likely that I'm personally going to ignore the Cup feat just because I want to get through the sector as much as possible, and I don't think that I'm going to need the burritos. Some of you might. The way that I will be handling this is number one with my Gungans. You'll get bonus turns from Jar Jar's Unique. You'll get Foresight from Phalanx's Assists and Jar Jar's Special. And you will get Tenacity down from Phalanx. So this is probably the easiest way for me to get bonus turns and to also rack up some of those global feats. I'm also going to be using JML with POW, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, Cup, and Stormtrooper Luke. Now, I know that I said I am going to likely be ignoring Cup, and that's very, very, very probably true, but I'm keeping in mind everybody else out there right now as well. In Sector 1, I think that POW with his Omicron, JML, and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis will be able to handle this all on their own. You'll get your Cup surviving, your buff disruption with Stormtrooper Luke's basic and just constantly calling him. your extra bonus turns with Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and Pow's Omicron, Tenacity down from Jedi Master Luke Special and Pow's Omicron, and Foresight from Pow's Basic, right? So that's going to be a nice team to just get through things. Why am I likely going to be using my pirates instead? Just because there are pirate feats in the globals as well, so I want to start those as early as possible. I'm going to be throwing Hondo with Vane and Silvo, throwing in Brutus and Quiggled as well. There's my Vane and Silvo survive. There's my bonus turns with Brutus. You're not going to get a lot of them from Brutus. You might get one or two, but that's fine. That's not why I'm using this team in the first place. I'm going to get my Tenacity down with Quiggled Special, and I'm going to get my win with Pirates. Now you'll see on the bottom here, we have characters that are really good with their basics in order to get certain dynamics from the team. So we have our Buff Disruption, Tenacity down, and Foresights on basic, which should help all of you get through that Sector 1 and the globals fairly easily. Going into Sector 2, we've got evade 100 times in battles 1, attempt to stun 50 times, win 10 battles with Forlom and Zuckuss, and gain stealth 60 times. Now, evade 100 times in battles I've won. I generally decide whether or not I'm going to do that feat after I finish the sector just to see how lucky I got. If I end at like 80 of 100, I'm going to go back and finish. If I got through the whole sector and got like 10 of them, I just don't even bother. It's generally, to me, not worth it as a feat unless you very much need it. My first team that I'm going to be using is Bad Batch, my original Bad Batch team, but throwing in new Mega instead of old Mega, right? We have plenty of stuns on the team. We have plenty of stealth on the team. We have evades from Foresight. We have Foresight from Omega Special. It's just going to help the team run better for what I need it to do. My Inquisitors are going to work really, really nicely here. Once again, and I do this pretty much on all of my infographics, the Third Sister or the Grand Inquisitor as your leader. If you have Third Sister, you're probably using GI, right? Rather, if you have Third Sister, you're probably not going to throw in Marak. But if you do have Third Sister, you're not going to need Marak here. It's pointless, right? Because you're going to have your 5 slots. You have stuns, you have stealths, you have evades, you have foresights, you have inflict tenacity down, and you have purge. That purge is going to go very, very quickly to get you to your 300. That is not a feat that you are going to have to worry about. If you have GL Leia, you can also throw R2-D2 and C3PO in there with Captain Rex and Drogon. Stealth from C3PO and R2's AoE. Stun from R2 on basic. Drogon on basic, but only when it's his turn. And Rex's special. And then JML is a mainstay in pretty much every single sector. Throwing JML in there with Hermit Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, Jedi Knight Luke, and R2-D2. You can call R2-D2 in order to get to his basic for stuns, and then whenever his AoE stealth is off cooldown, you're going to use that, and you're going to try to get through those stealths as quickly as possible. You'll get some evades because you have Grandmaster Yoda in there, and you have Hermit Yoda kind of passing Foresight around. As with Sector 1, on the bottom, we have our stuns on basics, our stealths on basics, our tenacity downs on basics, and our foresights on basics, which should help you get through each of those buff and debuffs. For Sector 3, we have attempt to inflict buff immunity 40 times, win 10 battles with no tanks, gain profit 50 times, so our pirates are going to be back, and win 10 battles with Satele Shan surviving. My first team up is going to be JML and Satele together. I know Satele makes a great leader, but that's irrelevant to me right now, and they are both tanks, so I'm going to try to get as much as possible out of this since I'm not getting a no tanks feat. So JML, Satele, Grandmaster Yoda, Pow, and Master Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm going to get my foresights. I'm going to get my win with Satele Shan, and I am going to get buff immunity from JML, from Master Qui-Gon, and from Omicron Padawan Obi-Wan, as well as Satele's basic if she has her taunt. So this is going to be an A+ team in this sector. I will be throwing my pirates back in here with Hondo, Maz, Brutus, Athano, and OG Hondo. For profit, buff immunity with OG Hondo when you're fighting light side enemies, winning with no tanks in the squad, winning with a full squad of pirates, and foresight, which OG Hondo gets from his basic, as well as Athano. I will be throwing in my Night Sisters, but instead of zombie, I'm going to put in Asajj Ventress there, the Dark Disciple. She has the Night Sister tag, which will allow her to resurrect and use this team to its full advantage so that I can get my win with no tanks, win with Asajj Ventress, and my tenacity down, which comes from Asajj as well. For me, with these guys at Relic 8, outside of Asajj, who I think is Relic 2 or 3 or whatever it is, I don't think I'm going to have any problem. It is a really solid team in Conquest. My Lord Vader team, I'm just subbing out my Scorch for Old Maul. Old Maul, his special that you do 5 times in a row has buff immunity on it. So it's a really quick, easy way to get it, as well as getting your win with no tanks in the squad. Moving on to Sector 4. Sector 4, we have defeat 50 enemies with droids. It's honestly one of my least favorite of the feats. I really hate this feat. It's not hard to do. The JML trick works every single time. I just don't like it. Win 10 battles with my Inquisitor, Barriss surviving, defeat 40 enemies with bounty hunters, and gain potency up 50 times. So right away, I'm throwing in Jabba with Skiff, Cursitan, Greedo, and Boba Fett. I want to try to do it this way so that they are all bounty hunters and so that every kill will count. Throwing Skiff in there won't hurt, but if Skiff does the damage, that attack is not going to account. And I like to throw things on auto as much as possible. Greedo's basic gives potency, and Greedo can assist infinitely on that. I know it won't happen, but that potency up should go relatively quickly. Now, I will throw my Inquisitors back in here again, and I am going to throw Inquisitor Barriss in as well. Once again, it's going to be a very similar team comp to what you were doing in Sector 2, and that's going to get you your wins with Inquisitor Barriss, potency up from 5th Brother's AoE, foresight from 7th Sister, tenacity down from 5th's basic, and Marok's basic with Purge, and everybody has Purge in this team, as well as your purges. If you're not done by this time, I will be very surprised. My JML team, I'm going to try to throw in Asajj Ventress Dark Disciple here just to see if I can get some extra kills. I don't need a full light side team. I just want to get some more of those global feats done as early as possible. If you're having trouble with this, you can throw in Jedi Knight Luke instead in order to get a stun on the team. But generally, I'm just going to throw my strongest LS droid in here. If I have Zealous Ambition, I'm going to try to have that character also be a support just to get extra damage on top. If I find a particularly weak node in Sector 4, I will do the sortie team with sortie, 3PO, and Chewbacca, R2D2, BT1, and B2. I'm only doing that if I find like a Bad Batch node, something with no speed up on it as well. On the bottom, we have our potency up on basic, tenacity down on basic, and foresight on basic. Sector 5, our final sector, inflict 300 damage over time with abilities. Attempt to inflict fracture 40 times. This is one we haven't seen in a while. And again, just like the droids, it's such a pain in the ass because it's such a limiting debuff and it has such a high cooldown. But there are ways to do it. Attempt to inflict ability block 50 times and gain evasion up 60 times. I'm going to go right to my Lord Vader team. I'm subbing out, what do we have? Scourge, DCT, Apo. So I'm subbing out CX2, and I'm going to get my damage over time from Lord Vader and Darth Vader's AoE, as well as my ability blocks from Lord Vader's AoE and Darth Vader's basic, especially when you're using Merciless Massacre. Now, this is a team that we used to use back in the day. Thrawn lead with Watt, Captain Rex, Barriss, and just a tank. L3 was the tank that a lot of people used back in the day, but just a really strong tank. This is a great fracture team. It works really, really nicely against things that are slower. The only recommendation is if you have Zealous Ambition, because Thrawn is a support, you're probably going to want to take that Zealous Ambition off, or he's just going to be killing things. My JML team here, I have my evasion up from Omicron Padawan Obi-Wan, as well as Luminara's basic call, my ability block from Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. And again, I'm just going to try to get some win with Asajj Ventress battles in there. It's really, especially with Padawan Obi-Wan's Omicron and how it works, and it's not fully relegated to just light side allies, it just really helps in this situation. If you're on the lower end, you have just your basic CLS team here. Throwing in that CLS team, you have evasion up as well as tenacity down. So that's going to help out a lot. As far as the survive feats go, I know I threw some of them in and I didn't throw others in, but I asked Moonborn to do this bonus infographic for me as well, because when it comes to survival feats, it's really the same all the time. We don't know what data discs will be in this conquest cycle other than like 2 or 3 really new ones. All we know are the data discs that we've used in the past. As an example, having Zealous Ambition, Ahsoka and General Syndulla light shit up. Those guys can take out anybody, and you can throw in 2, even 3 survival characters. If you don't have Ahsoka, Leia and Captain Rex essentially do the same thing, though I typically like to have 2 Zealous Ambitions. If this set has Amplify Agony, you're probably going to fall on Lord Vader here, because having 2 or 3 Amplify Agonies is going to bring those characters down to like 1 HP and allow the rest of your team to clean them up. Anything else, you're probably going to throw SLKR in, right? A super easy to get GL. That's how you do the survivals. You don't have to get fancy with it. As far as data discs for survival, Zealous Ambition is great because it's offensive and it gives supports and healers a lot more damage. Amplify Agony is great, again, as an offensive disc to bring enemies down to the lowest level of health they possibly can through debuffs. Fortified is going to allow you to take more hits. Leader's Resolve allows your leader to go a lot faster. Entrenched is going to give you some bonus protection. Voluntary Vanguard is going to make sure that your strongest character is always taunting. And then Martyr and Savior are newer discs that allow you to refresh. If you're about to die, you get your health back. Weather the Storm is a brand new one. Weather the Storm is a disc that your character is invulnerable until they take their first turn. So if you're trying to get a survival character to survive, you obviously take all the mods off of them and you jump into battle and you have fun with that. All's that to say, I think that Cobb Vanth Conquest is going to be relatively easy. One thing that I do want to finish up on, though, is that Relic Delta is going to be active in this conquest cycle. I repeat, Relic Delta will be active in this conquest cycle. We have confirmation of that. That means, one, if you are an end game player and you have a lot of Relic 9, 10, 8 characters, you might have a lot more trouble farming the traditional way. And at the same time, if you are a much newer player, it might mean that your survival characters are going to be dying a lot faster. None of us have any experience with this. I think it's going to be okay, but I will also add that we have noticed that there is no feat data disk. However, it seems that Meathead has said that this is supposedly unintentional and that something will be added to one of the feats in order to give us a way to farm in the more new age traditional way. All is said and done. Come join us on Slice of Otagunga on Discord. We have some great, really smart people there to help with Conquest. Don't wait until the last day. Don't be one of those people. Day 3 or 4, you notice that there is a feat you're having trouble with. Link your .gg, post about it, and there are plenty of people there, including myself, including Cosgol, who's a Conquest genius, including a bunch of really other friendly people. We are there to help you. We are here to get you that silly bitch. I wish everybody a great Hell Week. If this was helpful, again, obviously subscribe. It does help me out. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day.